Good Tuesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of Captain AccuWeather, coming to you by way of the Captain AccuWeather Command Center. On behalf of Weigels, that's fuel and food that's fast, fresh, and friendly. Here's an East Tennessee Weigels and weather update. Let's start off with Weigels. Did you know the eggnog is back? Oh, yes, it is. It is festive and just as festive as you remember. Oh, yes, you can get those cozy vibes for the holiday season. And you know Thanksgiving is just around the corner. What greater way to celebrate maybe having some eggnog in the refrigerator. Pick up a pint today. It is back. The Weigels Premium Famous Eggnog is back in stores. Check it out. It is awesome to have around. And also, it's just better when it's fresh. Farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. Nobody here would argue with that. Certainly when it's local, it's just better. And they've been serving East Tennessee since 1931, over 90 years. And it's back. It's Tennessee's favorite. We can declare that, especially if you've had it because it's so rich and creamy. The Weigels Eggnog is back in stores. Hopefully you'll grab a bottle today. By the way, visibility has maybe not been so bad. There's still some usual suspects. The areas would be the Smokies, the foothills. There's some white areas there. Also maybe some areas in Gray and maybe Granger County, perhaps into Union and Claiborne County. But really at the airport, 10 miles is the maximum. So we're not going to be too worried about fog this morning. Temperatures are sharply cooler though. When you look at Sevierville, 47. You look at Wartburg, 42. It's cool. It's a lot cool. Now, normal low this time of year is 39, so we're 10 degrees above normal. As chilly as it might seem to you in your system, you're like, I don't like the 40s. Well, hey, it maybe beats the 30s because typically on the 12th of November, that's where we might normally be. But why would we be normal? That's like telling an A student you should be a C student because C is average. No, it's just an average, right? It is what it is. It's what the ocean does. It goes back and forth. And certainly we've been on the warm side of the ledger. We've been on the warm side of the table for what seems like days and days of November. But when that changes, and I assure you it will change, when it does, it's going to be so abrupt. Everybody will say, man, we went right to winter. Yeah, I'll tell you that now. People, that's what people are going to say. Man, we didn't even go, we just swung the other pendulum. The pendulum will swing the other direction. It's just the way it goes. But currently it's 46 in Oak Ridge, Clinton, Norris, 43 in Jacksboro, Caryville, and La Follette. If you're on the call, I want to say good morning to you. I got a quick note from Steve Stone with a good morning and happy face and sunshine. He knows exactly what this forecast will yield. It will be a bright Sunday today, but not as warm. But thank you, Steve, for being here. And I see that we have the Jeep there in the picture. Danny says, good morning, David. Sure hope you have a wonderful day. Go Vols. I'll have that Georgia-Tennessee forecast as it is going to be played in Athens, Georgia this Saturday night. And Fred says, good morning. It's a chilly. I like that word, chilly, 47 in Maryville. Need Weigels coffee. Imagine if it were 39 in normal. People would say, I'm frozen. Yeah, but we're still in the 40s, thankfully. It's not too bad. Michael Hawk is on here saying, good morning, folks. Waiting on some snow. My friend Michael is ready for maybe a change in season. It's coming. It will come, and when it does, it's going to be rather abrupt. All right, those are the current temperatures. Let's expand the view. You can see that we're not alone in the 40s. Most of the Commonwealth of Kentucky in the 40s, 41 Lexington, 45 Jackson, Kentucky, but it's considerably warmer in Jackson, Tennessee. They're at 51. Our friends in Shelby County, Memphis, are currently at 52 to start the morning off. No wind really to speak of, except maybe what, a 3-mile-an-hour wind. I suspect it'll be generally out of the northeast today, 5 to 10 plus. But you're not going to find much wind this morning. Even the Smokies are pretty void of much wind, less than 15 miles an hour there projected. Meanwhile, tracking the clouds, what do we see? A couple of high clouds, that's about it. And we're looking for a mostly sunny day. Bright sunshine will dominate the skies today, expecting a high around 67. But to be fair, if we hit 68 in Knoxville, it wouldn't surprise me. If we hit 69 in Knoxville, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. Based on the data, we outperformed yesterday. And speaking of yesterday, yesterday we hit 73 degrees. Think about that. 73. I was expecting 72, so we outperformed. If I'm thinking 67 today, if we hit 68, don't be surprised. Your thermometer on the car, which is right next to the pavement and by your engine, probably not going to give you the most accurate reading. But when they measure the temperature at the airport, it's done typically in a controlled environment, 6 feet off the ground. It is in the shade. It's not directly in the sunlight. You see what I'm getting at. But 73.54, the high and low yesterday. The normal high is 61, normal low 39. So there you have it. And the record high today is 77 from 1989. It's not as lofty as you might think. We're getting to record highs in the 70s. It is the season where the days are shorter and the nights are, in fact, longer. Hey, here's something to take note of. The sunset time is at 5:30. Man, I really lost time to walk my dog when I get back from work. Some might be thinking it's up at 10 after 7. But imagine, just imagine, if we had not adjusted those clocks. It would be like 8:10. And what time would it be? Like 6:30? Well, I mean, you're talking about moving the clocks forward. It would be a lot later. But certainly we do adjust the clocks as needed, because if we didn't, it would be practically 9 o'clock, at least quarter till, by the time we got into the dead of winter. And a lot of folks would rather have the sun up before 9 a.m. That's just me. But anyway, I digress. 55 at 10 if there's any recess outside with a light jacket. 2 o'clock, we're looking for mostly sunny skies. 65, we'll finish the day about 67, or at least in the upper 60s. It is, by the way, pumpkin patch season, time for fall. Gotta love that. And if you've been doing some raking, I was trying to solicit any responses. How many bags of leaves have you accumulated this season? And you can count that trash tote, that 64-gallon trash tote that might be at the edge of your driveway. Some of you might have filled that up too. But I'm kind of curious how many bags of leaves that you've actually acquired this fall season, or have you delayed the whole prospect altogether? You want to wait till all the leaves are off before you even begin. I think some of us are in that camp. I don't know. Love to see what you're seeing. Here's the November Extended Almanac for Knoxville. And what jumps off that page, it looks like, was the record high from last Thursday. That red box represents 82 degrees. That was a well shattered because it broke it by 3 degrees. The record high was 79 from 2022, and we finished it at 82 last Thursday. Yesterday's high, I already mentioned, was 73. Got a note from Bob. He says good morning. Want to say good morning to Bob, and he is on here with his smiling face. Love it. He's even got his family there, perhaps his wife, and then I can see Wanda. She's here. She's saying hello and love this weather, but she is on Team Snow. She's on Snow Team. She's ready for a change, and I know that she's probably hopeful that the days and weeks ahead will have some change. Certainly the big Georgia game this Saturday night will be the focus. Let's be honest. They're 7-2. We're 8-1, and we're going into hostile territory, right? We're going into Sanford Stadium? I think I said that right. Yeah, Sanford Stadium, 54 degrees at kickoff, 52 at halftime, 49 degrees by the end of the fourth quarter. So grab a light jacket. It's not going to be warm. It's not going to be terribly frigid as far as Athens, Georgia, but you might think it's warm. It's just mostly clear and very little wind expected there at Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia. Of course, that is on ABC. Big game this upcoming Saturday. Not a lot to see on the radar. The radar is quiet all across the state of Tennessee. You expand the view, and I think I see some snow. Are you teasing me? No, I see it in upstate New York. You see the blue? Yeah, there's some streamers. There, maybe up toward the Tug Hill Plateau and across maybe parts of Canada. But outside of that, snow seems to be void anywhere near here, and there's still some snow and wet rain. Some rain and wet snow, it looks like, in Utah and back across parts of the West. All right, let me bring you up to speed on our dryness. Yeah, we came off the page with the third driest October on record, going back to 1871. We only had 0.08 of an inch. But yesterday, we picked up 0.57 before the sun came up. Before the sun came up, over a half inch of rain fell. And tomorrow evening, we're going to get another round. It could be closing in on a half inch to an inch or more. Yeah, a half inch to an inch. I mean, that could be making up for some good lost ground, because we need about 4.25, that's circled there in green, to just make up with even, to get up to par. So we've had 0.79 now. 0.79 inches for the month of November, but it has been pretty paltry, and the moisture deficit over the last 30 days suggests that. Where you see yellow would suggest about 2 inches below where we might want to be by this time in the month. Crossville, Wartburg, there's some yellow areas there, and you can see clearly in North Carolina, they're closing in on 3 inches or more, because they're kind of an orange-red across parts of Georgia as well. So this is just kind of like an addition to the drought monitor, which I posted and is available on the app. The Captain Accurate Weather app has the drought monitor if you want to take a look at that. Let me show you the future rainfall. I kind of teased it. Nothing to see today, but lo and behold, watch what happens as we head into Wednesday evening. Now, my anticipation is a mostly sunny day tomorrow, but by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you say, are these clouds? They look like they're increasing. They will be by 3 o'clock Wednesday. But by 5 to 7, 5 to 8 p.m., hello, rain. It's going to be quick moving in for the evening. I purposefully use that word Wednesday evening rather than Wednesday night, because there's 5 o'clock, there's 7 o'clock, There's 8 o'clock. Wow, it's really filled in, doesn't it? It's already raining in places like Sevierville, Maryville, Tellico Plains, with measurable rain at that. What about 9 o'clock? Oh, it's really beginning to fill in. So you're going to find, if you're home by 4 p.m. from work, that it's okay. But by 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, I need my wipers. The rain's starting to fill in. That's 11:30 Wednesday night. And if all goes according to plan, the quicker it gets in here, the quicker it gets out. That means the heavier rains will probably be over by 12 noon Wednesday. That doesn't mean the rain's done. You said it'd be done by noon. No, I said the heavier rains will be done by noon, and then you'll get these residual showers Thursday afternoon. That's my expectation, and you can see how quickly this fills in. That's 8 o'clock Thursday morning, a cumulative look where we may pick up over an inch and a third in Jamestown. Maybe closer to an inch by 8 o'clock Thursday in La Follette, Middlesboro, well over an inch in Oak Ridge. So those are some hopeful signs for those who are hoping for some rain on their lawn, in their backyard. Just give me some rain, Aldrich. Well, it's there, right? It's in the forecast. The most rain we have seen in quite some time. In a matter of weeks, maybe a month and a half, the most amount of rain we could have seen in quite some time. Speaking of rain, did you know Raphael kind of just fell apart? Did you know that? Oh, I didn't know if you knew that. We're going to talk about him in a moment. His real name is now post-tropical cyclone Raphael. You could call him Raphael, but you can see the Hurricane Center has washed their hands of him because he didn't make landfall. You say, what? You mean he was like a major hurricane when he hit western Cuba? Yes, he was. Yes, he was. But certainly he's not now. I want to give a shout out to Mary Morgan. She's on here saying, good morning, David. And I see Wanda Post saying, thanks to you again for all the veterans and their service yesterday. Their day was yesterday. God bless you all. Thank you very much, Wanda, for being there, being here. And we do appreciate and thank you for the service for all of those who sacrificed. Now, it's interesting because Raphael, where is he? You look at the global simulated radar, there's nothing going on in the middle of the Atlantic. You can stick a fork in Raphael, he's done. And I had thought initially, without making landfall in the Gulf, which is pretty rare, what's amazing is that I thought the hurricane season would be over by the 15th, which is in about 3 days. But I'm going to eat crow on that because it looks like we've got one more good storm, and her name is going to be Sarah. More on that in a second. I did post on my premium side that how rare is it? It's been 44 years since you had a hurricane enter the Gulf that didn't actually get a name, and that's Hurricane Jean from 1980. Notice how they took similar paths. Raphael hit western Cuba. Jean did not. Jean had winds of 100. Raphael had winds of about 111, was a major hurricane. But they both petered out. They both blew apart and fell apart right in the middle of the Atlantic, not hitting any landfall. That's pretty rare. It's a rare instance, but it does happen. 44 years ago, that's a long time. Some of you are not even around. I wasn't even around in 1980. I get that. I understand that. But if you want context, I'm here to give it to you. It's been pretty rare a long time. But there's an 80% chance that Sarah forms. Oh, yes, Sarah might be coming to a community down in the Gulf sometime in the next 7 to 10 days. We'll be watching that closely. By the way, if you haven't picked up some of the eggnog, it's back. Weigel's Eggnog is back in stores for a limited time. It is as festive as you remember, and it's so delicious, rich, and creamy. Grab a bottle that's festive, too, because you're going to want one maybe around Thanksgiving or before. You're going to want some around holidays and Christmas. It's just better when it's fresh. Farm to store in 24 is just better when it's with Tennessee cows. No doubt, and it's back. Tennessee's absolute favorite eggnog, the premium eggnog from Weigel's. Check them out. They would love to see and hear from you. And I, of course, appreciate them. They are a wonderful sponsor with Captain AccuWeather. Let's talk about the interesting thing here, though. 80% chance, right? 80% chance that we have a possibility named Sarah. Sarah is the next name on the list. And that's key because when you look at what's going on, let me see here. Let me go back to the 80%. Let me bring it to the list, right? I'm going to change a little guide here. So we're going to pop, Sarah would be the next name on the list. But Tony would be potentially another storm that would follow if there was something else. But my suspicion is, as it was before, that we'd be finished with the last of the storminess on the 15th. But clearly, that has not been the case. So we're going to watch that closely. And I come back on camera as I want to make sure my background actually matched. So if you want some eggnog, Weigel's is the place to go, no doubt. Let's go ahead and talk about the tropical names. Sarah, Tony, and Valerie are on this list. It is 6:55. My goal is to be done here in 5 minutes or less. Bright sunshine. Not as warm today, but mostly sunny Wednesday. Rain arrives Wednesday evening. We talked about 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. That's when it's going to roll in, and it will be rather quickly. arriving in here with this approaching front based on the timing and the speed of the system. Valley Planner takes us to 67 today. Average high 61. Want to check in with your comments. Bright sunshine and not as warm. If you're on the call, want to say good morning. Karen Robbins is here. She says it's a chilly Fairfield Glade at 44. So if you like 44 degrees, Fairfield Glade's the place to be. I suspect most of us are now in the mid to upper 40s as we looked at the temperatures a moment ago. And Marilyn Bell says, good morning, everyone working on leaf duty. She says, I have a lot of them. I again, have nothing but grace. I finished about 4 bags over the weekend, Marilyn, so 4 bags is nothing compared to some of the bigger properties in our neighborhood, and I know that they've got more to do, and some, like you, might have more than that. Good morning, David. Have a blessed Thursday. Glad to have Darcy here. She's one of my premium members as well. So if you're making lunch plans, 12 noon, 61 degrees, so it should be around 65 by 2, and looking for highs in the mid to upper 60s. I'll emphasize upper 60s because if we hit 68, 69, just wouldn't surprise me. We'll be watching that very closely. All right, so that's the Valley Planner. I'm going to get highly specific with the rain chances, right? 80% Wednesday evening, 80% on Thursday. The heaviest arrives before 12 noon. And then it's kind of residual showers for the second half of Thursday and into Thursday evening. By Thursday evening, it's still raining in the foothills and Smokies. There's enough energy, it looks like, that showers will continue, but with less intensity than what we've had on Wednesday evening. So hopefully that gives you some perspective, at least in the short term. All right, so let's go ahead and grab, for example, the Storm Prediction Center numbers, actually the colors. The isolated chance for severe storms is going to be in parts of Texas and maybe western Oklahoma. I'm talking specifically Amarillo. Anything that's east of Lubbock may have the risk for some isolated severe storms. Today, nothing to see in Knoxville for today. That's good news there. But you'll see that there is generally going to be quiet weather today. And if we get some thunder, it may be very centered across Middle Tennessee come tomorrow. But the Storm Prediction Center on Wednesday does, to be fair, put some isolated severe storms in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Jackson, and Mobile. That's one thing we're watching there. And then if you look at, let's see here. Yeah, areas around Nashville could get some thunder. They do place a few thunderstorms in Knoxville, but it may very well be centered west of I-75. It doesn't look that convincing. Then Thursday, some thunderstorms of the general variety in the deep south that include Atlanta and Destin, Florida. But outside of that, things look pretty quiet on your Thursday afternoon. As far as our weather is concerned, Futurecast, we're looking at not much to see. We have high pressure that's going to be anchored across the region, so you got bright sunshine today. I hardly see any fronts. Is there anything going on in this map? Oh, there it is. There it is. Finally, we're getting some rain now, but with tomorrow morning in Memphis, look how quickly it races in here. Like I said, the speed of this should have it on our doorstep by the time we get 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. It starts to spread in like so, and that's why it's going to be with us through midday on Thursday. And then it changes over to some snow, Wanda Poe. If you're in West Virginia, so I didn't have any plans to be there. Well, maybe there's a good reason. If you want to take a road trip up toward the mountains of West Virginia in the eastern panhandle, they may find a wintry mix. That's what you're seeing there in pink and blue. So parts of West Virginia may indeed, because it's so cold, get a little bit of mix. Cold front slices through. By midday Thursday, the intensity has disappeared, but there's still some residual showers, I think, on the back side of this system. But we dry things out, maybe some drizzle on Friday. Outside of that, it's another glorious weekend with more sunshine both Saturday and Sunday. So let's recap. Forecast, it's now 6:59. Bright sunshine today, not as warm. Winds will pick up 5 to 10 out of the north and east. Looking ahead to today, look for a high in Oneida, Scott County, 61 degrees. A high in places like Harrogate, Tazewell, New Tazewell, and Middlesboro at 63. Morristown, Hamlin County, say Russellville, and say Alpha and Talbot should be in the mid-60s, about 64, 66 for Sevierville and Pigeon Forge. It's going to be a little warmer if you're headed south, naturally, 73 for Atlanta, but only 55 if you're headed to Lexington or Charleston, West Virginia. Very chilly relative to where we are. 41 for your low temperature tonight. Normal low is 39, so I'm going to classify it, since it's within 2 degrees, a seasonally cool night. Not the night that you're necessarily going to want to crack the windows. If you do, you might feel like you have to close it because it's getting chilly. But seasonally cool, northeast winds 3 to 8, 41 degrees, mostly clear, and plenty of stars. We're into the mid-30s, though, tonight for Middlesboro. I have us at 39 in Wartburg, 38 in Oneida, and 42 in Morristown. So those are my expectations for your low temperatures tonight. Did I get another comment here? Oh, I did. I almost missed this. Dawn says, good morning, David. Nice and crispy out here on my little porch. And the coffee is extra good this morning. Hope everyone has a great day. And don't forget, if you don't have coffee handy and ready to go, you could pick some up at Weigel's. Dawn, thank you so much for being here. Wanda Poe says, Weigel's has been giving away some treats free. My daughter Tammy and granddaughter Brandy are Weigel's. They work at Weigel's in Newport. Come in and say hello. Glad to have Wanda there, and she has a strong connection with Weigel's because they're such a great community partner and great community serving us since now 1931, a long time ago. All right, let me get to the forecast. The 7-day outlook, the 7-day forecast is now on your screen. We're starting with the first day today, 67, bright sunshine. We're still in the upper 60s tomorrow, but as I mentioned, it's going to get rainy pretty fast in the evening hours. On Thursday, we'll be lucky to hit 58. It's going to be significantly cooler, and if we get some sunshine Thursday, it would be more inclined to pop out on the afternoon time frame. Friday, 61. Saturday and Sunday, low to mid 60s, lots of sunshine, and then hazy sunny clouds coming in on Monday of next week. So very excited about the fact that there is some change. There's some variety. It's not all the same. It's not boring ho-hum weather. It's going to change, and we're going to get some much-needed rain. By the time we get to Thursday afternoon, many of us will have picked up a half inch to an inch of rain or more. That could be more than we've had in about 5 or 6 weeks. That's amazing, right? That alone is a big story. Speaking of another story, eggnog is back. Weigel's is back with their stores with all the eggnog that you can imagine. Premium eggnog is available, and make sure you have a bottle or two on hand for this upcoming holiday season. By the way, it's just better when it's fresh, farm to store. In 24, it's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. Very thankful for Weigel's. They are Tennessee's favorite eggnog, and it's back at a store near you. So very thankful for all of you. Can't wait to give you an update on this rain because I think some of us are going to be interested to see how much can I get really. I mean, is it better to rake leaves when they're wet or when they're dry? I'll let you decide on that particular scenario. Anyway, thank you for your time. Make sure you pick up a bottle of the not only the eggnog, but maybe some chocolate milk. Maybe you would prefer some hot coffee this morning. They're there to serve you. My name is David Aldrich. We'll see you here next time. Take care.